Welcome to Bonita's Kitchen and thank you for joining us. What I'm going to be making for you today is pizza. This pizza has been requested a few times by many viewers, and of course that's one of my favorites to make. So I'm going to show you from scratch how to make your dough, and of course toppings will be optional for anyone, but I'll show you what I do to make my pizza. We'll get started with getting the yeast ready and putting my ground beef into my frying pan. Okay, so what we'll do is add a teaspoonful of yeast. You could use fast rising or regular, and about half a teaspoonful of sugar. Mix this together and just put it to the side to let it rise. And this is going to be for our dough. Of course, we're going to be using 1 cup of flour, so 1 teaspoonful of yeast is enough. After you're done with your yeast, if it's newly open, date it when you opened it, put it in your fridge, and that's fine with that. So now what we're going to do is add our ground beef to our pan. I'm going to be adding just a little drizzle of olive oil in my pan. We're using about 2 cups of lean ground beef. You probably won't need all of this, but I'm just going to fry it down and have a little extra. So just toss it right into your pan. Toss it on in, and this is lean ground beef, and I added just a drizzle of olive oil, and that just started to fry. I'm going to top it now with, while it's frying, some salt and pepper. So just a few dashes of each one to start. Going to be using the same seasonings for both, for my ground beef, for my dough, and this is about half a teaspoonful of onion powder, half a teaspoonful of garlic powder, and a half a teaspoonful of Italian seasoning, and just let that fry nicely with your ground beef. And what I'll do now is talk a little bit about some of our ingredients we're going to be using. So usually when we make a pizza in our own, we both get different tastes. My husband likes meat, a meat lover pizza. I like a lot of vegetables. One likes cheddar cheese, the other one likes mozza cheese. So we kind of mix and match it. And in this case, as long as you got your base, which is your dough, and the toppings is totally up to you. So what I'll do next, I'm just waiting still for my dough to rise a little bit. We'll start with putting the ingredients there for our flour and our seasonings I'm going to use for the dough, and then by then our yeast will be ready. So let's get started. Okay, I got 1.25 cups of white flour. I'm only going to be using a cup because I want about 1/4 to do all the blending of my dough together. Of course, same goes for dough for your pizza as for your bread. You always leave a little bit just for bringing it all together. Half a teaspoonful of onion powder, half a teaspoonful of garlic powder, half a teaspoonful of sea salt, and half a teaspoonful of the Italian seasoning. So the reason for this is, you don't need it if you don't want it, but I like to flavor my dough. My dough needs to taste just as good as my ground beef and the toppings that's on it. So what we're going to do next, as you can see, the yeast has risen enough for putting it into the dough. So we won't put it all quite in, just take the top layer first, leaving about maybe 1/4 cup in with your dish there, because we want to make sure that the first part incorporates first, like this, and now you can put the rest into it. And mix it all in until it's nice and mixed together. So after you've mixed it a little bit and it starts to come together, use your hand like you would your bread to knead it together so everything is all incorporated. taking all of the flour down from the sides like this, because you want all of this. Now this size of dough, what we're making here today, is for a 12-inch pizza. So if you've got a bigger pan that you're going to be using, you could double this. Instead of 1 cup, use 2 cups or 2 cups and a quarter, and then you know, double your yeast and so on. But this is for 12-inch pan. Okay, so that's coming along nice there. Also in your dough, when you're mixing in all your ingredients, put a drizzle of olive oil, probably a teaspoonful is lots. And if you forgot to put it in when you're mixing it, just drizzle it over the top of the bun and just keep forming it until it's a nice ball like this. And we're just going to set this to the side. We also got some bacon we're going to be having with this, but I'm not going to put the bacon in it raw. I'm going to put the bacon after I finish cooking the ground beef. I'm going to cut it up in pieces and just sizzle it for a few minutes just to take some of the ream off some of the fat. Alright, it looks like my ground beef here is done. I'm going to be taking that off and we'll get the bacon put in there. Okay, so I'm going to be taking this off and putting it into a bowl. So remember, this is just the way that I make my pizza. You may not even want ground beef. You may not want bacon. You may just want, you know, your pepperoni and your toppings. Just as long as you got the right amount of dough and you blend that together. That's all that matters. So now we're going to take the bacon and cut it off in little pieces and put it right into my pan. Okay, so just cut all of that up into the frying pan. And like I said, I am only cooking this just until it starts to remelt some of the fat. This is going to be for the very top of my pizza. And the ground beef is done, so we're going to put that up front. Now, let's go to the next step. Okay, I'm just going to sprinkle a little tiny bit of pepper over my bacon, because I like to do equal seasonings on everything, so that, you know, when you bite into it, everything tastes as good. A drizzle of olive oil over your pan. So this is, like I'm saying, a 12-inch pizza pan. You're just going to make it nice, and you'll have that coat of oil. Then you're going to take your dough. Now, I don't do no flipping here. Like, I don't flip it around and make it so that it's nice and formed. That I can't do, so we won't go there on that. But what I will do, I'll show you how you would spread it by just lightly pushing it to the ends of your pizza pan. This dough is absolutely beautiful, and you can see the texture is nice. So we'll show you what that's like. So you start by the middle, of course, and you gradually push it outwards, giving it the right amount of pull and push on each side. You see what I'm doing there? Just spinning your pan around until you spread it to where you want it. Of course, I want it the full length of my pan. So you keep going like that, making sure you don't crack it, because we don't want the sauce to go down onto the pan. We want it to stay on the dough. So you just keep going like that, pulling it away from you to the ends. Okay, so now I'm feeling that my bacon is done enough. I got a bowl with some paper towel in there, because I want to drain off the rest of the oil that's on this bacon. So we're going to just pour it all out, and the oil will just go onto the paper towel, and then that bacon is ready then for when I need it. So now our next step to making this delicious pizza, as you can see, the dough right now is just beautiful. Okay, so that's looking nice. So what I'm going to do, this is just a pasta sauce. You could use pizza sauce, you could make your own sauce, whatever is workable for you. My husband loves lots of sauce, so no matter what kind of sauce it is, and this one's got a little bit of basil and garlic in it, so that gives that a nice flavour. So now just look how lovely that looks already. We haven't even got anything done yet, and I'm sure your mouth is watering. So I hope everybody is following me so far when it comes to making this delicious pizza. Everybody makes a different when it comes to putting it together and whatnot, but the base of it, which is the dough, when you got a delicious dough, to me that is half the battle when it comes to making the pizza, and then from there on you can just flavor it. So now this is the portion where I put my ground beef, and it's already cooked and flavored, so I don't need to add no more seasonings or anything. So I'm going to put that over to the side. What we're going to be doing next, I got 4 of each, pepperoni, salami and the ham. So we're just going to evenly put it onto the pizza, rotating it so that each side got a little taste of something different, like this. Put this one in the middle there. Open that one up and put that one there. So that's how nice that looks. And if you're anything like me, make extra bacon, because I'm picking in between there, because if you need 4 slices of bacon, definitely put 5 on there, because you may eat part of it while you're waiting. I am going to be putting some raw onion. If you don't like raw onion, take it, don't put it on at all, or cook it with your ground beef. That's entirely up to you, because this is the part that I like. My husband is the meat lover, I'm the vegetable girl, so I'm just going to put the rest of the toppings on there. I got 4 mushrooms that's cut in slices. I had just 1/4 of a small onion that I had cut up there. And now what we're going to do, I'm going to leave the tomato, peppers, bacon for last. Next we're going to be adding on our cheese. So next, like I was saying, is the cheese, but just a little reminder, I guess, if you didn't want all of it together, you can go half meat and then half vegetables, and then you know which portion is yours. But I'm going to be putting cheddar cheese over it first. Now, only because we like both. You don't need to use this. This is just the way we make it. And pretty much what I'm doing here now is just giving you a nice guide to a delicious pizza that we would have on a Friday or on a Saturday. We call it our comfort movie night, where we just put together a nice pizza. Sometimes some wings, but mostly just pizza. And just top it over. So that's all the cheese, except there's a little bit more cheddar there. Now comes the nice helping of bacon. So you're just gonna put equal amounts on all sides. And this was, I guess, pre-fried a little bit first, just to ream out some of that oil, that fat that you don't need. And then we're going to top it with 2 different peppers, a red pepper and a green pepper. Just look how lovely that looks. All that's left now is a few sprinkles of tomato. So now we're just going to top it with just some pieces of tomato, and all of this is optional. Like I was saying, the tomato, if you don't want it, I'm just using those little small sweet tomatoes. And then I'm going to put another little sprinkle of what my husband would call it pizza seasoning, but it's just a mixture of different Italian seasonings, a little dash of pepper, freshly grated black pepper, and a small amount of Parmesan cheese just to touch it off at the top. Now this is what we would call a fully loaded pizza, and it's absolutely delicious when it's baked. So now comes the next most important part, the baking of it. You want to make sure it's just absolutely perfect on the bottom, a golden brown, and on the top you can see that the toppings is all starting to, bake together. 30 minutes on a 350-degree preheated oven. And if you need a little bit longer, you can just check the bottom, take a knife, slip in under, lift it. If it looks like it's still a little white or not as golden brown as you want, you can keep it in longer. That part is optional, up to you. 30 minutes works for me. Meet me back here when it's baked and I'll show you what it looks like. Welcome back to Bonita's Kitchen and thank you for joining us. Our pizza is done, baked, and as you can see, just absolutely delicious in under. Now what I'm going to do is cut out a nice piece to show you. So if you got a pizza cutter, it's easier, but if you don't, you could use a knife. Just go straight along, go in the center first, kind of make it like a cross, go down the middle, and do the opposite way. And this is what it looks like. Absolutely delicious, and it smells so nice in here. Just look, I'm going to put it down onto the plate now, and now that's a piece of pizza. So now this is definitely a Friday night pizza. If you were planning on having a movie and a nice date night, I'm going to cut off a piece there. I'll show you on the bottom, and I'm going to have a little taste. Delicious. So I hope I got you hungry for your pizza, and so you can get ready to make this simple, quick and easy meal. Absolutely delicious, and you can taste all the flavors in the different layers because we seasoned the ground beef, we even seasoned the bacon, and then putting the seasoning in the crust. So I'm going to ask you a question before I end off my show today. What is your favorite pizza, and what experiences have you had with them? This is probably 2 questions, but let me know. I'd love to hear from you and to share it with others, but just so I know, because pizza to me is important. So if you haven't already subscribed, please do. Go to my YouTube channel up at the top right hand corner, hit the link, and it's subscribe, and it will prompt you to what you need to do. You can also visit me on my Facebook page. You can send me a message on www.bonitaskitchen.com. I would love to hear from you. So thank you for joining us once again for Bonita's Kitchen. From my kitchen to yours, you have a wonderful day.